Hello, everyone. Christie here, Christie Flynn, psychic medium. Welcome, welcome. I have not done anything like this on this channel ever, and I felt really pushed, nudged to ensure that I bring this message today. I typically write out my monthly oracle readings, which basically an energetic map of what the month can look like. Themes that may play out, dates of significance that can sway or move depending on the energetic shift. But all I know is I actually was getting my hair done today, sitting there, and I'm like, I forgot to do my month of July. And again, that pull, that push to this is a really important month. And so I wrote it out this morning and happened to share it with one of my friends. And she was pretty blown away by what I had told her. And we were just chatting over text. And so now I'm here to share it with you. I call July's oracle reading Riding the Wave because July marks the beginning of another step in energy, one that will continue to be building over the next 3 to 4 years. It's almost like I see it as multiple waves moving along and having an effect across the earth, across humanity, even across the our solar system, across the universe, everywhere. It's impacting everything. So it's called, some call it the new wave, a wave of intense energetic shifts moving through the earth and through each of us. So it can impact your emotions, your physicality. You may feel more energetic or tired, but to be very aware of how it can affect your behavior and your focus. And I'll be talking about this. So the first wave, it's intense and spiky, and it happens all the way through from the beginning, actually end of June, all the way through till July 9th. So we're here on the 7th, when I tuned in. So we've only got a few more days where it won't feel as spiky and intense. And these waves are actually energetic downloads as well that move through all of us. I feel it as supportive, as a guidance, as messaging to help us. It may feel like it's stirring up feelings that can disrupt and highlight behaviors that aren't so healthy and positive. So just being careful of this because this energy has some heat to it. So it is a little spiky, causing anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. So this is going to be quite normal for everyone, and you're not imagining it. There's definitely, and I've noticed it myself, and I actually had saw this coming back in June when I did the June oracle reading that we were coming up to a significant month and to be prepared for what's going to happen. So you may even act in a way that's completely outside your character, your personality. You may feel maybe down or have lower energy when you're typically up and have a lot of energy. So the opposite, you're going to be the opposite of what you typically are. And I'm going to tell you because it'll be important for you to double down and paying attention, noticing how you're being, how you're acting, and how you're moving through the day, the week, the month. Okay. So, and it's also really interesting because these waves have personality to them, which reminded me of when I visited Sedona. So the idea that some of the vortexes can be masculine or feminine, so are these waves. So some will have that tension, and others will have that feminine energy, more gentle, soft, compassionate, loving, where the more masculine waves can feel, again, quite intense, ego driven, uh, anger, just wanting to uh, ride these waves over people. So just being very careful of those in power or those who want to control you. Just to be aware of, what that is, what it's about, and it isn't about you, but also you need to pay attention and to act accordingly. So and these waves, so it reminded me of Sedona, but also these vortexes or these energy waves, masculine or feminine, remind me of the energies that are around Stonehenge, the pyramid in Egypt, Machu Picchu in Peru, Bali, Laruru, and a vortex is really a special spot on the earth where energy is either entering the earth or projecting out from its plane. And these sacred sites have called to us seekers, or those who are seeking for centuries, for this exact reason. So you may feel called to a calling up. So there's an invitation with these waves of energy to really push you, to nudge you into the direction you're meant to go to. And so there will be a bit of cleaning up of your energy, cleaning up of, letting go of what was and being open to a new perspective, a new wave of moving along through this. So, and just like the waves in the ocean, you want to be moving with these waves. Uh, and it looks very eloquent and beautiful in many ways, as much as it may feel a bit uncomfortable as you move through the month. Uh, there's a great deal of electrification happening alongside this wave. So it is linked to Uranus, and these continuous solar flares that are happening, the earthquakes, the double earthquake in Venezuela. So there's a lot of electromagnetic storms with eruptive qualities that are rippling across the world, and everything is connected. So we feel called to, if you feel called to sending prayers, sending energy, sending healing to these places, even within around us, we are more powerful than we can imagine or can't imagine, but just imagine that you are. Okay, I do hear the collective voice coming in and saying it's really important that you understand that you are intuitive, you are able to make a difference in this world, regardless of what's being projected around us, right? So there's a balancing happening too. So between opposing forces, peace versus ego and war. And as this rebalancing moves through, it's taming this energy that's being stirred up. And so when I tuned in, I heard it described almost like taming the dragon, the beast, the ego that has long been resigned to rule this world. However, and there is this invisible level of energy, and it is within us, as well of support of the supportive system that's around us that is invisible as well, if you want to call it guides, angels, inspires, of the light, blue energy. Those are some names, if we want to label it. But I feel that I see just this it is intense in a positive way, but it's coming up to create that, counteract the ego in the world that's going on. The second wave, it comes around, comes in July 9th to middle of the month, so the 17th. So there is calming and softening happening, even though it may superficially feel very disruptive. You may see a lot of disruption around the world, but the second wave is calming and softening um, uh, the earth of us as well. Uh, but know that the first 17 days of July can still feel a little bit overwhelming at times, especially for those who are sensitive to energy. I'm a Cancerian, so even Geminis, water signs, those sensitive signs, Scorpio, Pisces. eh, and also but other astrological signs are also quite sensitive, so just making a note of that and doing your own due diligence and taking care of yourself. uh, so it is an important window to do your due diligence, to notice these changes within yourself and prioritize sleep and rest and stay resolved to your tasks, to your passion projects, who really double down on what you're being inspired to follow. This is a really important time. You may even feel physical effects during this period of time, this stretch of time, maybe restlessness. I know for myself, awakening early in the morning and not being able to sleep. So poor sleep habits are coming in as we're being downloaded. There's this download, this really powerful, ignition energy that's coming in. So it may feel agitated, uncomfortable, causing this tension. And these are signs of evolution happening now. And again, like I said, it does peak around the middle of the month. So this is also a season of truth and awakening. People are opening to a new sense of perception, others that wouldn't even see themselves or as intuitive or psychic or telepathic or having abilities of sensing beyond what you would typically sense, that there's such a catalyst. And I had a client yesterday, and he feels a change, and he's like, I'm not myself anymore, and I can't really put my finger on it, but I know I'm going through a change. And I can tell you, this is a man who would typically be very ego driven, but now very sensitive, compassionate, and loving. And he admits that, who I was, even he could even see this happening 6, 7 months ago. So I do see, as I'm tuning in now, there was a shift, or we call it a portal, a door opening, um, where he began to shift. So I'm being told right now that there was another shift happening in January, February. So he was feeling it back then. So that's very validating as to what's coming in and who's experiencing it. Uh, and remember, people are opening to these new senses of perception, whether it's in nature, through dreams, or being out in nature, or in a creative project, or even someone who's coding, someone who's being creative and filming. Uh, there's an opening happening here, and everyone's is on their own soul journey and awakening and becoming seekers of truth seekers, each on their own timeline and in their own way. So I call this soul journey of seekers. And then after the second, obviously there's a third wave coming in. It's again continuing on with that loving and gentleness that's coming in. At the end of the month, it seems quite pivotal. If you notice, if I'm looking to the left, it's because I'm also picking something up. So it does begin to smooth out in between the 17th and 29th. So it does, and again, a very pivotal time, right? Compassion and loving gentleness is filtering in, enveloping those who are inspired to help and lead with love. This wave, this third wave is of love. It's quite significant. It's golden. This wave is actually golden. I see the light wave as reminds me kind of this golden sun, but the wave of light, like a rainbow of gold, of not multiple colors, but of gold filtering in. And even as I talk, I can feel that that's coming in very strongly. Now, as I'm slowing down, it's calling in, that's bringing in the love and slowing down the language and how we're being. This is an embodiment of the light and stepping up, a pattern interrupt, an embodiment of the good things to come. And so we're just going to, as I wrap up, I know it's quite a fast video, but you're focused through it all. Because the energy is stirring us up and pulls us out of focus, again, it's important to double down and not to deviate, not to get distracted, not to stay aligned with your focus and attention on your creative projects. Attention on creation. Attention on creation is your supernatural power. Supernatural. It is what creates your reality. It's what creates our reality. So take time to see the magical enchantment of this beautiful world of worlds. We are all on this journey together. And there's a sense of community. So we're linking hands, we're linking arms with others as we champion ourselves through this period of time. It's really going to have a ripple effect for the 3 to 4 years. Um, to take time for yourself, to take time for your loved ones, welcoming in. It's all about the home, bringing it into the home, being that role model, and moving from the home outward and taking it wherever you can go. Welcome in the love, kindness, and compassion. I happened to be in New York a couple of weeks ago and I saw this incredible play called The Fear of 13. And it was a beautiful story of resilience, compassion, love, and possibility. And I do believe it has ended. It was ended on the 28th. But as I walked out of the theater, I had the opportunity, had the playbill, and my partner, he asked, "Do you want to go left and get the playbill signed, or you want to turn right? And we'll just go off and just kind of walk around for a bit." And we happened to turn right and just following the crowd, and the crowd ended up kind of stopped and really looking in a particular direction. And there was this gentleman speaking, and he was just so eloquent and impactful. He moved me to tears. And he talked about love and compassion and using that as a way to paint the world. Like the world is our canvas, to use our own love, our love to paint the world, to paint others and show what is possible. And as it turned out, it was the gentleman who the play was based off of. Um, and he just put his hat on, turned around, and walked off into the alley. And you talk about being called or nudged to go in a particular direction. I'm so glad that I felt compelled to just go off in that way. Otherwise, I would not have heard his 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 talk. I wouldn't have seen or felt that sense of humanity embraced in one individual person. I really want to um, look his name up because his name escapes me at the moment. Um, just give me a second here. It's called impromptu YouTube recording. And it was, yeah, I was right. I should have said it. It was the true story of Nick Yaris. And he's he's such again, he is such a role model for what is possible. So welcoming in love, kindness, and compassion. I thank you for your presence and for being here all the way through. I send you off with love and light. Thank you all for being who you are and who you're becoming. Bye for now.